Yes. Today we have the Ishmash Saiga 12, chambered in 12 gauge. Let's review it. To begin with some history with this big beast here, these shotguns are only produced in Russia by the Ishmash Corporation over there. These are the same people that make the AK series of rifles, AK-74, whatever it may be. Mikhail Kalashnikov's original design, but formatted into different versions. Now, prototypes of these things were around in the world about 1980s, we'll say, and were largely produced in the 90s and therefore on. This shotgun was used by the Russian Special Forces, even part of the military from time to time. It really just depended on the situation, but these shotguns are definitely known to be reliable. Now, as we get to the overall design of this thing, I mean, it's pretty obvious the inspiration here that we see. AK style of any sort, whatever, just modified for shotgun shells. And in most cases, we're talking double-aught buck and or slugs with this thing. So as we move on to ergonomics of this thing, I mean, pretty similar in functionality to an AK-47 or whatever you'd like. Picatinny rails of all sort, but I've put that on afterwards, aftermarket parts, so you got to keep that in mind. There's a lot of accessories that you can buy for this thing later in the future. The gas system is even fairly similar to an AK-47 itself, and fairly like that. It means simplistic operation and functionality. I have mostly opted for the original Tapco furniture back then, and it seems to do the job pretty well, given that this thing came from an abusive owner that tried to put this in a bullpup kit. I just wanted to rectify his mistakes. But yeah, overall ergonomics of this thing, that's just really dependent on you. Coming from the factory, it'd be hard to find one, to even get one looking original from factory. But that's pretty much at your own volition of what you would like to do. All right, now that we got a few segments out the way, I believe it's time for us to engage with this thing. Let's go. All right, let's get it started with 5 shots of double-aught buck. Oh yeah, okay. Alrighty, final thoughts with this guy? Thoroughly impressed. This thing feeds like an absolute dream if you're using the correct ammunition, of course. Double-aught buck is preferred, and you can indeed use some slug. It's really able to lay down a lot of lead very fucking quickly, and it's stunning to just do. And, you know, I've always been an AK guy, so this will be always enjoyable for me. So, I have no complaints here. But now, we ask the question, who is this for? And to answer that question, I would say just the enthusiasts for the most part for the AK series of rifles and shotguns, because this thing can be a tad bit pricey. Thanks to world events, we'll say, we can no longer receive exports of this from Russia, obviously, and that will indeed drive up the price of these immensely. And we are looking at some pretty hefty price tags here, roughly from around $1,200 to $1,500 just to get a base model one. Something like this would be even a bit more. And if you're just going to factor that in with other semi-auto shotguns that you're just trying to get a hold of, you could get something that's far cheaper than this. A decent Mossberg, a good Remington even, who knows, but they would all be cheaper than what these cost today. But to sum it up, just because I love this thing doesn't mean that you should. Plenty other alternatives out there, I would say, just for the enthusiast. But as always, appreciate it. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. As always, you guys, got plenty of short content, gaming videos on the channel. You can go check them out whenever. Let's get to it. All right, some more double-aught buck, because why not? Yes. Just because I feel like hurting myself, let's go for some slugs. Oh boy, I'm so ready for this one. Oh God.